I'm Jenny Brogan. My company is Charleston Makeup Artist. I'm a freelance makeup artist here in the Charleston area. I'm based here in Mount Pleasant, but I work in the surrounding areas. A big bulk of my business is done downtown in the historic part of Charleston. I also travel. I go to Edisto, Kiowa, Seabrook, the historic plantations. If you're watching this video, you probably have a wedding or event coming up where you'd like to look extra special. Probably going to have a photographer there and you want to look picture perfect, but you want to look like yourself. I am Airbrush certified. I trained in Hollywood, California, both for the airbrush in general and then again specifically for weddings. I offer more than just the airbrush. I also use traditional foundation with brushes and sponges. Why do I offer both? I don't feel like the airbrush suits all skin types. So when I feel like a different foundation would be better suited to a certain skin type, I'm not going to forego a pretty smooth complexion just so that we can use airbrush. My service also includes lashes. I don't charge extra for the lashes, and I charge the same for both the traditional foundation and the airbrush foundation. Usually when a bride contacts me through my website, which is CharlestonMakeupArtist.com, she'll have a certain expectation in mind for what she wants to look like at her wedding. A few pictures, they're like an eye from this picture, a lip from this picture, the colors in this picture. And if the bride is from out of town and it's going to be a destination wedding, she's not going to be in Charleston until the day of the event, then we correspond back and forth through email or text, and she shows me pictures that she has in mind. She's usually browsed Pinterest and found a look that she wants to achieve for her wedding, and we correspond back and forth through texts and emails. That way I have my kit tailored to her look and have all the products necessary to create that look on her. And when I arrive, I have that look in my head and planned out. We don't have to spend a lot of time hashing out shadow colors, blush color, lipstick, etc. And the bride is usually a little bit nervous and wants to sit there quietly or spend time on her phone corresponding with the other vendors or family members who are going to be there at the wedding. I don't have a problem with my client being on the texting with her other vendors and family members while I'm trying to do her face. I'm pretty easygoing. So one of the questions that I get asked, do you do hair? And I do. Yes, I do hair. But first, I'm a makeup artist, and that's just an added on service to save the bride money and trying to coordinate more than one artist. If it's a really small wedding, 3 or 4 that need hair and makeup, I can do both the hair and the makeup. If on the day of the event there are more than 4 that need both hair and makeup, I recommend the bride hiring a separate hairstylist. If there's a large number and only a few need hair, I can handle it all. But if there's 10 and 10 need hair and makeup, the amount of time it would take me, one person, that's the other thing, I'm a one-person team. I don't have any girls that I work with that I bring along and have to manage. It's just me, and I'm a very dependable employee, and I like it that way. I have done weddings where I had the bride plus 8, and I did all the hair and all the makeup. And they did not mind that the get ready process lasted all day. I had the first bridesmaid in my chair at 9 a.m. and I can do complete hair and makeup on a bridesmaid in an hour or less. Yeah, it took me 7 or 8 hours to do hair and makeup on that whole, including the bride. So to answer the question about do I do hair? Yes, I do hair, but you may want to take in consideration how much time you want to spend on just getting ready. Where do I go? I will go wherever you want me to go. Although the longer the distance, the higher the travel fee. Therefore, it probably is more cost effective to hire someone that's based closer to your venue. And back to inspiration pictures for your look that you want for your event. I have pictures on my website of work that I've done, so you can look there. There's also verified reviews if you want to find out what my clients think of me and their experience that they've had. Oftentimes I do my service in a hotel room, and I have my own chair and I have my own lighting and my own power strip. So I have everything I need to set up to have a little salon, so to speak. So you don't have to worry about, are we going to have the right chair? Are we going to have the right height of chair? Are we going to be able to set up by the window? None of that is a concern. I have all the equipment to cover every situation. So why should you hire me over another makeup artist? Very dependable. I've never been late, never called in sick. I have over 20 years experience in the beauty industry. I stay calm under pressure. I'm very flexible. If your time changes, or the number of people change, or your date even changes, I'm very flexible with change. Another question that gets asked really often is, do I require a deposit? I do not require a deposit. In order to book with me, we have a conversation, either a short telephone call or through text or emails, and we discuss time, date, and the venue. I get all the relevant information, where I need to be, what time I need to be there, how many people I'm gonna do, and what the total price is gonna be. We get all that ironed out. I send you an email with everything, all the details we've discussed. You let me know if I've got it clear in my head as to what you want. I've taken notes, it's in my calendar, and I'll be there. And then on the day of the service, I will accept cash, check, credit card, Venmo, PayPal. I think that's all of them on the day of the service. The only thing that I ask in regards to booking is that if you have something that comes up and you change your mind and you no longer need my service, I would appreciate you letting me know as soon as you know, so that I can know that that date's freed up and I can book somebody else. How far out will I take a booking? I generally do not like to book a bride a year out. 6 months is good, but a year out, my experience has been that the bride was newly engaged. She was all excited about the upcoming event. She was excited about the planning process, and she went ahead and booked my services just through text, email, phone call. Then generally, I keep checking forward, and confirming, are you still good with this date? Are we still on? yes, yes, yes. And then it gets down to they just don't answer anymore because either the wedding, the wedding is off, they went ahead and got married, they found somebody else. So I'm finding that planning a year out, so many things change. I don't like to take appointments for that far out. With that said, I have booked a wedding a year out and it did come off and everything was cool. But most often my experience is so many things change. I do miss out on other opportunities while that date is held. Is there a time that's too early? There is not a time that's too early. Whatever time the bride wants to start is the time I'll be there. Often I have brides who are going to get married on a cruise ship and they need me there at 6 a.m. I'm there. I've also had speakers who have, like, they're the first ones to speak at 8 a.m. So they need me there at 5:30 or 6 to start hair and makeup. So time, it being too early is never an issue for me. On the day I show up to do your hair and makeup, some things that are important to mention is if we're planning on doing airbrush, you need to have a clean face with no products. No sunscreen, no moisturizer, just clean skin. The airbrush adheres best to clean skin. And I have had brides who say, no, I don't have anything on. And I'll do their Airbrush Foundation, and as the look proceeds, I notice that it's starting to break up on their nose, and I'll say, are you sure you didn't have anything on your face? Oh, just my moisturizer. Well, that's a product and that won't work. If the airbrush is done properly, the airbrush will last 24 hours. You can put it on in the morning, you can go through the wedding, you can sweat, you can sleep in it, and you'll wake up the next morning and you'll still be pretty. What do you do if you sweat? If you sweat, you just take a tissue and you pat, and it does not transfer. The foundation does not transfer. You'll just have the dampness, the oils or sweat on your tissue, not the makeup. That's the way I like your skin to be. If we're going to do airbrush when I show up, to save time, I mean, it's not a catastrophe if you already have moisturizer on, but if you want airbrush, to save time, just have clean, naked skin when I arrive. If we've planned to do traditional foundation, your regular skincare is fine. Another thing is, if you are acne prone and you are using acne skincare that dries your skin, I would suggest definitely don't have that on when I arrive. And I also would suggest if you could use a gentle exfoliation the night before to loosen any flakes. The airbrush will cling to flakes. If you've hired me to do your hair in conjunction with your makeup for your event, these are the things that I want you to know for the morning or afternoon that I show up to do your hair. I prefer clean hair. There are many products on the market now that I bring with me that will enable fresh, clean hair to hold a style. So it's not necessary that your hair be day-old hair. I would only imagine that you would be happier to have fresh hair on the evening of after your wedding. Many of my clients wash their hair the morning before I arrive, and when I arrive, if it's still damp, that's not a problem. Or if it's wet, that's not a problem. I always bring a blow dryer with me, and I can blow your hair out before I begin styling. If time is an issue, then you probably should blow dry your hair before I get there. Another question I get is, do I require a trial? I do not require a trial. I do offer one if that makes you more comfortable. I charge for it, it's not free. The trials take a long time. Trials often take longer than the day of the event because there's so many questions and the client usually wants to try different alternatives. Try this color, then try that color. Try this eye look, then try that eye look. Try this lipstick, then another. If you would like a trial, I can come to you. If you're located in Mount Pleasant proper, I do not charge a travel fee. If you're outside Mount Pleasant proper, there's usually a small travel fee if I come to your home. It's usually not as much as if I have to come downtown to a hotel because I don't have to pay for parking, etc. So if I come to your home, then we'll do just the same. I'll bring all of my equipment. We'll do your look from beginning to end as if it was the day of your event. I'll do lashes and everything. So if you've never worn lashes before, you'll have an opportunity to see what it looks like and see how they feel and decide if that's something that you'd be comfortable with on the day of your wedding or event. If you prefer to come to me, my studio is located at Mount Pleasant Medi Spa at 999 Lake Hunter Circle. It's in Unit D, and that's in Mount Pleasant, right behind the Mount Pleasant Post Office. We're located kind of in between the library and the post office. So you're welcome to come to me and I'll do a trial there, or I can come to you, and depending on where you're located, there may or may not be a travel fee. Those are all of the questions I can think of right off the top of my head. If there's anything that I didn't address, you can leave your questions in the comments, or you can go to my website at Charleston, South Carolina Makeup Artist and contact me through that. And you can give me your date, your venue, and the number of people that will require hair and or makeup, and I can give you a quote. I hope I've answered all of your questions, and I look forward to meeting you and working with you on your special day. Ta-ta.